Welcome to another episode on the High Level Experience podcast. Our guest today is a fellow high leveler and an educational pioneer in the SaaS community. He is the founder of GHL University, an institution dedicated to maximizing the capabilities of Go High Level users by providing comprehensive training and resources. His mission is to empower agencies, SaaSpreneurs, and their clients to fully leverage Go High Level to transform their business. Please welcome to the show, Orien Daly from GHL University.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invitation. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. And, I look forward to our fruitful conversation in the next hour.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, welcome to the show. To kick things off, could you share what inspired you to start GHL University and how it's changing the ways users engage with high level?
Yeah, wow. It was more out of frustration. So for people who didn't know much about me, I worked for two big white label support companies in space, and I have spoken to at least 1,000 high-level agency owners over the last 2-3 years. I grew my own SaaS to about 35 clients, 35K per month was our peak, and that was really fun. But the money it fluctuates, right? You have a good month, you have a bad month. So we started working for these third-party companies, and that just gave me the opportunity to speak to so many different people. And I realized there's a lot of marketing out there trying to attract high levelers to use Go High Level, but not that much information out there for the actual customers themselves. So this all came about when one of those third-party companies, I was selling a snapshot and I did the onboarding for them. And this is the same snapshot that I bought in 2022. Right, December was when I was trying to figure out how to use high level, but I had no instructions. So I remember asking the founder, I'm like, hey, do you have like instructional videos on how to use your snapshot? Not for me, because I don't know how to, I don't need to know how to use it. I need to give it to my customers to know how to use it. And they said no. So I actually built it out for them. And that sort of led me to this point where we're here now, where we have over 350 customers using our gray label. And one of the really cool things is that we have the ability to white label it. So we used AI and HeyGen to create our AI avatar. It's like a Loom video on the top left hand side of your screen. And I can turn you into an AI and have you present your avatar. You're the one explaining my training videos to your clients.
That's genius. Okay, we're talking real leverage here.
Oh,
mate. We'll go into the technicalities of that for sure. I want to dive into that. And I'm sure everybody that's listening wants to know as well. But yeah, just going back to what you said, man, working with over 2,000 agencies that you had the opportunity to support on the back of working for the white label support provider. That's priceless. Like when it comes to like running a business and trying to like really hone your craft, I think there's nothing better than having a conversation with people, with the market, right? Because you learn so much, and the fact that you've done that, it's. And I've been in GHL since a little bit longer than you, so maybe like a year and a half longer than you.
Yeah.
But I feel like you probably have more insights than I do.
Yeah.
Because you had those conversations.
Yeah.
And what I guess I'm trying to say is just referencing back to anybody that's listening, whether it's talking to agencies or talking to the underlying businesses, the way you figure out how you can provide the most value is by having more conversations and focusing on the problems that they face and the impact that you can provide rather than the underlying solution. Because the solution, let's face it, solution is like, should be flexible. We should be able to pivot. We should be able to adjust.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
For the best benefit. So what, in your experience, what are like some of the biggest pain points? Because there are trends, right? Like if you speak to 2,000 people, you start to pick up on trends.
Yeah, you do.
What are some of the biggest like pain points that you've discovered talking to GHL agencies?
It ranges, depends on the person. There's a deep underlying frustration with Go High Level. The level of complexity, it draws in a lot of newcomers. You know this, right? You speak to experts, but I was speaking to like guys who work in 9-to-5s, guys who were in crippling debt, guys who are like HighLevel's my
Oh shit! Sorry, man, I got it wrong. So you didn't speak to the agency. You spoke to 2,000 the underlying businesses.
no, these are agency owners who were struggling.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
right. So that's what I mean. Like when I went to the Dallas Summit event, I'm like, there are hundreds of highly successful entrepreneurs, or at least people who made their way out all the way here. That's like the 0.1% people who made it.
Yeah.
When we get on these calls, you guys who are struggling to get their first client, their fifth client, their 10th client, guys who are sick, guys who lost their house, like spoke to a guy who lost their house, guys who are in their 80s, who are trying to build and sell AI and high level. And it's just like, oh man. The reason why I made the GHL University is because our clients were med spa owners, ladies and gentlemen in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They don't really know tech, AI, like database reactivation, A2P, like all this stuff was just too overwhelming for them.
Oh, I bet.
Dude, it was hard. And I was getting on calls with people. I once spent 3 hours on a call with a lady trying to find her Facebook password. And I was like, okay, cool. This is it. I'm done doing this. There must be an easier way. And there is. So we made those videos. And the issue here was HighLevel keeps updating. HighLevel keeps updating every single day. So what we did was my fiance, who's my, for people who are viewing it, we went to the Philippines in December and our team made this for us. So it was really nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And she's the smart one. I make this joke all the time. I say I'm the looks and she's the brains. She's a software engineer. But she's also quite pretty, so I'm kind of yeah. So I'm just the guy who kind of chats a lot on Zoom, and she's the real brain of this side of things, and she's the one who managed to figure out, hey, maybe we use HeyGen, maybe we turn you into an AI and have you be the one explaining it. Whenever we need a new video, we can do it instead of having you film it and then update it and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
that was just like light bulb moment. Maybe other people struggle to explain HighLevel to their clients, and maybe other business owners struggle to use Go HighLevel. That has been a recurrent issue over these last few years, speaking to hundreds, if not thousands of agencies owners and business owners using HighLevel.
Yeah. I've used HeyGen probably about 3 years ago, and I tried to do some videos and I didn't quite like it, but I guess it's been 3 years, right? So maybe it's gone and improved itself a lot.
Still a bit iffy sometimes. It's AI is on the cusp of almost being there, and I truly believe those who, especially the people in your guests. I'm sure you've spoken to many AI experts, guys who are in it day to day, learning about it, getting used to it, getting their hands dirty, building cool shit. I don't know if I can swear in this, but like,
yeah, mate, you can. Yeah, of course.
okay,
Just be free.
Building really cool stuff, right? They're gonna be the next 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs in the space. Full stop.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Well, here's another take on it, right? I was on a call the other day, and a mate of mine, he shared a link to a document. I was like, oh, what's that? It's just a little document from a World Economic Forum for 2025 report. What the world, the amount of jobs that are going to be displaced in 5 years,
yes, sir.
That's nothing new, just a little thing.
Yep. Yeah.
You're talking in millions, you're talking in hundreds of millions of jobs, roles, professions are going to be displaced because of AI.
Oh, yeah.
And the type of careers that are going to be on the rise are going to be in understanding AI, AI engineers, data experts, and data system developers. Those type of roles. Yeah. So what you're saying is totally true, very valid, and anybody that's listening as well. Like this is the future, and I think this is like the perfect moment for a lot of us right now. Like we're in this space. I mean, I'm talking to business owners here locally in my city where I'm at.
Yeah.
Here in Canberra, Australia. And I'm, every week I go to my local BNI, but I also do a bunch of other networking events that I go to, local business chamber and things like that. And you speak to business owners, and I'm starting to see that a little bit of a shift. It's not huge, but a little bit, at the beginning, like hesitant about AI. Now I'm starting to hear a few people that wanted to contact me, that they're starting to like be interested in AI.
Yeah.
It's just going to, by end of this year, it's going to be a whole another story. I don't think it's going to take very long before a lot of businesses owners will actually really realize and proactively will like really want it now. Like right now they're like 5 and it'll get to 10. Like I need this shit. And they actually get it. That's when like if you get there early, you get the upper hand. Because you don't want to get there late and then trying to figure all this out. By then, and it's the same thing with high level, right? If you started with high level 5 years ago, the amount of features that were in high level, the capabilities 5 years ago were maybe like 3, and now there's 10. So like now you're starting high level. Well, good luck to you, mate. Like there is so much more learning curve than there was before.
Correct. So yeah, agreed. It's a hard, you know, I was fortunate enough. The reason I called it the GHL University was because I went to the GHL University. I was doing a master's here in London. I was meant to go to med school, but I, you know, tried for 2 years and I didn't get in. So I said to myself, fine, even if I didn't get in, you know, I'm going to treat the next 5 years like it's med school, like it's, you know, Thursday night at 10 p.m. I'm doing a call, you know, whatever. I'll do what it takes to achieve my goals. And instead of going to med school, I said, cool, why not? Why not do go high level? And of course, you know, I was very naive at the start. Some guy got me on his affiliates and I'm still paying for it. He's an affiliateur, whatever they call it nowadays. But I wanted to be a real business owner. I wanted to really help people out. And I didn't want to just make a quick buck. I wanted them to win because I know the power of Go High Level. It's changed my life. Like, it like truly has changed my life. And when I get on these calls with these guys who are struggling, who can't pay rent, who can't pay their mortgages, who have family members that are sick, I got on a call with a guy today. His wife's got leukemia. And he said to me, he's like, dude, I need to make 30K or 40K. I'm at 20. Help me out. Okay, let's do it. Let's figure it out together. High level is their savior. And it was my savior. I was in a very tough spot a couple of years back and learning skills, doing the dials, doing the cold calls, building funnels and automations and being part of this AI trend. And then obviously getting the opportunity to partner up with some of these big, I call it the Facebook and Google of high level. So these big corporations I partnered up with. My mom doesn't really get any of this that I do. She's like, is this KPMG or Deloitte? I'm like, no, mom. This is Go High Level. This is CRMs. Oh, you know what?
It's like we are our own world. We have this own bubble, like all of us, high levelers. I feel.
Yeah, we do. And it's beautiful and it's a blessing to be a part of it. And I'm getting hang of this is, you know, I feel like I'm sort of new coming to the block, that kid. I'm like, oh, guys, hey guys. Maybe sometimes too naive. I don't know the relationships that are already in place, but I'm just trying to find my way here.
Look, maybe that might be the case, but you've also already proven your success. And to your point on the affiliate type of stuff, you know, I mean, I'm an affiliate, you're an affiliate, but we're actually running the real business. We're actually running our own SaaS. Like how many do you say? You got 300 or so sub accounts. You know, that's solid, you know. So you've already got a track record. So you've got credibility. And I think, you know, you definitely got something to stand on. That's what I feel. And just before we start recording, you were mentioning you might want to be presenting at our level. I think you totally could. I think you've got value. I think, you know, what you've done is pretty inspiring. And like you said, you know, there are a lot of high levelers that are starting out and they're doing it for different reasons. They might be trying to, you know, make extra money so that they can help their wife with leukemia or, you know, those type of underlying reasons. And, you know, you help solve them. You help solve some of those initial learning curve problems related to GHL. So well done to what you've done so far, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It's my goal is for business owners to utilize Go High Level to its full potential.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
Yeah, so
here's just a bit of intel. Weird word.
Information.
How I like my model, right? I'm a nerd, right? So I'm passionate about taking on different niches, different clients, and it's fun. Gets the, you know, brain juices flowing, and it's not scalable. Let's face it, right? If you just go after one niche, that's going to be more scalable. But that's if I was just doing it for money, but I also doing it for mental stimulation, because that's the other currency. One is money, the other is like your like challenging your intellect.
Yes.
Is what's fun about it.
Yeah.
Where I was going with this is, the model. So whilst I enjoy this, I also know that there are people who cannot afford me to build that stuff in their account, right? So they pay subscription, but they can't afford it. So the big shift this year that I'm taking is more educational based, one-to-many model, right? So you sign up, and I already have community. I already have this workflow automation that sends everybody a weekly growth check-in email that's got built-in proactive, questions about how they went for the goal that they had last month, and prompt them. Then they should, let's say it's a week 1 of the next month, and prompting them saying like, hey, it's that, it's a new month. What are your goals for this month? You should have a goal. If you're serious business owners, everybody should have, goals. You should have your annual goal, but you should also break them down. So now would be a good time to sit down, spend an hour, brew a coffee, and figure out what it is that you want to achieve this month. And by the way, if you want, you can click here and let us know, and we can try and see what we can do to help you reach that goal. Things like that,
Yeah.
So community, got the emails, which are great because they just like the automation, right? So you've got baseline something at the very, very minimum that goes out and reaches out to customers so they don't feel like they're being left out.
Yeah.
And then obviously webinars and workshops and education on like practical workshops and education on how they can do this, how they can do that. What I don't have, and I have a wide level knowledge base. Yes, I've got that through Matt's HighLevel Pro Tools.
Nice.
For articles, which is a good one, and they keep updating that, and the interactive guides, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good for self-serve, and customers can help themselves, and that's great, because I think that's giving opportunity to those that can't afford it. They've got opportunity, because it comes down to time or money. Like if you don't have money, well, at least you gotta have time, and if you don't have time, you gotta find time.
That's literally, sorry, just to add, that's one of our first videos in our training. It's like, if you have money or time, which ones do you have? If you have both, done for you. If you have one of the other, if you have money, done for you. If you have time, watch videos, do it yourself. If you have neither, don't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be blunt like that. Yeah, there's no other way. Yeah. It's really, these are the choices. These are the options. Yeah.
I've seen and heard too many people think how easy this is, and
it's not.
No, it really isn't.
There's so much assets and resources that you got to build into your GHL. And if you're serious about doing SaaS, like you need all those things. You can definitely leverage by signing up for wide level knowledge base, wide level that, but you still need to think about the customer onboarding experience, like your welcome sequence emails. You should have videos, otherwise it's just like it feels like a bit weird. Like if you just get a welcome email, it's just text. Put videos in there, put your personality in there, because they buy into you as well.
Yeah,
you got to build all that out, and that takes time.
Yeah,
and this is where what I like is about what you do is you help shorten that cycle with the AI avatar videos, where because I wasn't like, I was reading stuff, looking at your stuff before this call, but I didn't know that is another thing that you also do. Because I mean, like I said, I've used Hey Jen before, but it's been 3 years, and if you've got it dialed in to a point where you've already done the legwork and we already got these videos that are teaching people, and I can have my face on it, mate, well, that's a massive shortcut.
Oh, dude. Yeah, think about this. Not just that. AI webinars, it's AI onboarding agents, right? We're dialing in the onboarding AI support. We're implementing AI specifically for our sales processes. So anytime new lead opt in, we have setters that dial leads. They get the transcript of the AI conversation, and imagine that the lead says, "Oh, call me back on Thursday," or "Send me more information." AI sends it already, and it follows up with them on the actual date before the setter calls them to prompt them to remind them of the call. Same thing with custom. It's like, I love AI. I love
AI too. But here's the thing, and I'd like your take on it.
Perfect.
Do you sometimes feel like a little bit overwhelmed? Like, is this maybe like a bit scary?
Yeah,
At the same, like, I mean, I'm excited about the opportunity, and this is massive leverage from a business sense, definitely. But like, holy moly, like, where are we going?
yeah, I know. I could just be a guy. I could just be a normal dude in my early 20s working in corporate. Like I didn't need to do this. And I didn't need to pull in my fiance. And another thing as well, I work with my dad. So my dad designed the logo, my dad does my emails, my dad does my design work, all of it. And he came from he does freelancing now, but he used to be a creative director at Colgate and Coca-Cola. So he knows
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah. So he knows a
Man,
thing or two
that's
about like I'm like,
genius.
yeah.
Yeah, you
First,
gotta tap into that resource for sure.
literally, and another thing, so my fiance's dad is a investor. So it's like we were given the resources to win. It's just we decided to take it and take advantage of it. And I'm not, we're very privileged.
Look, that's the smart thing to do. You know, if you got access to these resources, these opportunities, you should definitely
Yeah.
take up on those.
It's frustrating when people
Um,
don't. That's the annoying thing. That like
yeah.
drives me insane because I know there are many people in positions. I speak to them that they wish they could be in. I've got colleagues and friends who live comfortable lives and they could be doing more with their lives. But that's what I think, and obviously they're doing what they want to do, and it's just they complain to me about not being happy with where they're at. So,
Yeah, and also, I mean, let's set things straight. Yes, your dad maybe gave you accelerate some of the graphic stuff based on this and that and your partner, but it all didn't just fall in your lap. You had to do the hard work too, right?
yeah,
So I'm just saying, like, if you guys are listening and you're like, oh yeah, oh he had it too easy.
yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
look, maybe he had a few shortcuts, but at the end of the day, like, if he was lazy and had these shortcuts, he wouldn't be able to get to where he is because he still need to put the hard yards. You need to put the daily reps.
Yeah, it's people. People want the results, not the work required to get those results. Like it really is like a lot of freaking work, dude. Yeah, they don't tell you how hard it is. And I remember going on a call with a lady and she was saying, I was telling her the blunt reality of selling SaaS. You can't just flex your CRM and all of a sudden people are, pouring their checks out. It's like you have to build something unique about yourself. What is your offer? What is your proposals? What is your niche? Who are you and how can you provide them benefit? It's not, you can't just slap a logo onto your, go high level and say, it's my CRM, it's my software. Buy it for $100 or $200 a month. What more value do you add? Everyone's doing that. And
Exactly.
she thanked me for that. She's like, thank you for being honest. Because I hear a lot of people telling me how easy it is, but it's not that easy. But yes.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think that's where some of the affiliates, they're purely just doing the affiliate game, the influence game.
Yeah.
Are giving HighLevel a bit of a bad rep.
Yeah.
Because
And
they get a lot of people on the, sell them on the dream, but the reality doesn't check out the same way.
And that's why, dude, that's exactly why I did this. That's why I did this. Because I was sold that dream. And I remember being so mad at my affiliate for so long. Because he got to 10K per month and then he got to $100,000 a month through affiliates.
Mm-hmm. He probably does nothing else than this.
Yeah.
Because to get to those type of numbers, because I mean, I have, like, why wouldn't I, right? I've got an affiliate side, but I'm not actively doing anything with it. I focus on building stuff for my own agency, which I then offer other agencies to purchase. I'm talking about my profit roadmap modules, my snapshots, which have become quite known in the community for being well documented, but that aside. A little plug. But yeah, like that's what I focus on. And like, yeah, of course, like I've got traffic to those websites. So why wouldn't I have an affiliate offer for somebody to sign up and get some perks that come with it? But if I wanted to really start making some residual income, like I would have to be on YouTube every day. I would have to do all that. But then that would take my focus away from what I do. And I wouldn't be able to have, I think, like, this is maybe a bit of a rant, but I think I still prefer the way I do it because I'm actually in the weeds. I'm running my own agency and I'm going through, everything that comes with it, the successes, the wins, the struggles. So I think I can relate more than if I was just an affiliate and just selling, like just promoting our high level.
Yeah, I know. And it maybe in a year's time we're balling in affiliate money and we say something completely different, right? For now, in my opinion, I'm happy with the trajectory that I'm going. I feel like I'm really helping people, and I've even started doing one-on-one coaching with a couple guys and girls who don't like they don't. Some of them are much smarter than me. They just need someone to speak to and keep them accountable. Because what I'm realizing nowadays is with courses, with AI, with group coaching sessions, like there's more than enough resources out there for people to achieve what they want to achieve. It's just they're not doing.
There's plenty. Yeah, you just got to put. Well, you got to put the work. But even then, the next step to it is also you got to be really focused, because there's so much. There's so much, and I'm perfect bad example of that. I'm a super OCD.
Yeah.
But I'm also a bit of I'm super like perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. I'm very much of a perfectionist.
Yes.
If I don't have my email clean by end of the day, or if I don't have my design, my graphics like the way I like it, it just does my head in.
Yeah.
But I'm also entrepreneurial, and I've got and I'm interested in lots of different things. So I've been trying out different vendors, trying out different things, and I'm a perfect example of how not to do it.
No,
If you put it that way.
It's me too, dude. Like I spent a load of my student loans on buying a load of things I didn't need, when in reality I should have just sat on the phone, dialed leads, watched boring YouTube videos on how to deliver results, and do that for like 2 years. Full stop.
Yeah.
Just on that note as well, I've got a funny story for you about how I managed to cure my commitment issues and focus issues.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's interesting.
So in September, in September 2024, I had a job, an online contractor job. I had an agency that I was running, and then I had GHL University that was brewing. It was in its beta stages, infancy stages. And I was just like, very cool. I'm spread way too thin. I need to figure out something. I need to commit to something. And I need to be able to do it. I was going to America in September to meet 2 potential business partners. One was a cool dude in studies that likes to surf and very nice. Second one was a guy in his 60s who was one of our clients and was like, let's start a coaching business together. So one was GHLU, one was, we call it MedSpa CEO. So coaching business plus go HighLevel SaaS.
Great.
And I remember we did a 3-day sprint with the guy, with the MedSpa guy, and it was just like load of value, seeing if we would work out together. And it was on the second day we were having dinner. He was telling me a story about his life. He struggled for 20, 30 years. He was alone. He had flings here and there. He was about to get married and then get married until he met his wife in his 50s. He was 60. And he had the most success in his life in those 10 years with him, building that med spa to 7 figures. And I'm like, oh. So you were lonely, you were successful when you only met her. And when you committed to her, committed to this business plan and this business proposal, you became successful. So, okay, cool. Let me think about that. We also did a personality test, like an official personality test to see how well we'd work in a team. We spent like $1,000 on that. I'm like, too much money, but we did it. And I realized that
you really took it ground up.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, cool. Here's $1,000. Tell me about myself. And it turned out me and my fiance were perfect fits. I was one half. It was like 4 categories: red, green, blue, and yellow. I was like,
is it like a disc profile test or some of those?
Yeah, it was. I was like the red and yellow. I love team, and I'm very forthgoing, and she's data driven and super nice and kind and loving. So together we work well as a team. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we work well as a team.
Perfect synergy.
this guy committed to his wife and he's super successful. I love Alex Ramosi, but his story is very
Yeah.
compelling. So at that night, Friday evening, I decided I was going to propose to her. I called my parents. I said, I'm getting married. I'm proposing tomorrow. I woke up the next day. The dad came along with us, the investor dad, and we went for like a 4-hour walk. Asked him if I could propose, and he said yes. And I bought a ring at Walmart, $20 ring, proposed to her, and it was also my birthday that day. So,
Man, congrats. Man, I love that story. The proposal story. It's when it happens like the way you want, it's like magic. It's just it's something that you'll never forget. Like I proposed my wife
yeah,
on the beach, and I bought this ring, and I knew like now's the time I'm gonna do it. I didn't know where I'm gonna do it, how I'm gonna do it. All I knew is I need a ring because that's
yeah,
kind of like that's what you need. That's like
yeah.
talking about like a sales funnel. What are the steps that a
Yeah.
potential buyer needs to take? I knew like at least I need a ring, and then we just walked around on the beach. Friend of ours, they invited us. They've got like a beach house, so they invited us for the weekend to stay there with them. And we just walked around. They were showing us a couple of the beaches, and then we walked past this one beach. At this nice little cliff and these rocks, and I'm like, that's a nice spot. And then we just kept walking past because I was still scoping,
Yeah.
scoping, right?
Yeah.
And then I said to him, because the girls were behind us, like about 50 meters walking behind us, so they couldn't hear us. I'm like, I just pulled the ring on my pocket, and I said to him, like, I'm gonna need your help. And he's like, what? And I showed him. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what do you have in mind? And I said, those rocks where we were like 10 minutes ago, I think that's a good spot. How can we make it so that we can go back there to take some photos and, record this thing? He's like, oh yeah, leave it to me. I'll let my wife know like just that we should have took some photos, whatever. And so they were both on it at that point, and she was making video, he was taking photos, and then we just went there, and Lucy, my wife, she was standing next to me, and we were just getting ready to take pictures, posing for the pictures. It was perfect. And then I just kneeled down on these super hard rocks, like cliff rocks. Like, yeah, like it's like a piece of glass straight into your knee, but
Nice.
you got to endure when there's more important reason for it to do it. And and so we did it, and she was crying and we were crying, and yeah, it was great. And then we celebrated the rest of the weekend, drank some champagne, and it was great. Yeah, so brings nice memories. But right, let's go. We're sidetracking here a little bit. Sorry, guys. Well, hopefully you can relate.
Yeah, or go. I mean, it's nice. Go high level. Like I said, Go High Level changed my life, and Go High Level gave me this opportunity. I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be able to pay for rent. I wouldn't be able to be able to help the people I help if it wasn't for Go High Level. And we wouldn't be able to be on this podcast. We wouldn't be able to be telling listeners about our stories. Like I'm forever grateful for the position that I'm in, and I know this, great responsibility, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I know the impact that we can have on this world, on this place, and on the people that utilize High Level. I really do.
Yeah.
So that's my mission.
Orien, I really love these like personal inspiring stories, and I think there's value in those for sure for people listening. But I think let's get into some juicy stuff as well, so that the guys got something to walk away with. So let's tap into your skill sets. When you booked in, you wanted to talk about 3 things. We haven't really dived into it just yet, so I want to make sure maybe spend the rest of the time on talking about those, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Setting up GHL correctly, onboarding with GHL, and AI with GHL. Which one do you want to tackle first?
I think the setup is a crucial component. Like I did a masterclass with Go High Level with JB. The training will be up in April 24th, 25th, something like that.
Nice.
The setup is most crucial. I think the setup and the onboarding components combined. If you have it,
it's the first impression.
Yeah, dude.
As well.
Like, oh my gosh. A lot of the calls I get on with people, they're very much like, hey, I really want to get clients, but I don't know how to get clients because I don't know how to onboard clients. I'm like, oh, wow. So you need to know the software in and out. I remember once speaking to a guy who who was like a day trader and worked a job and wanted to resell Go HighLevel. He didn't. And I knew, I don't know where he's at right now, but from the first impression, I thought, cool, you're not going to win with Go HighLevel because you need to eat, sleep, and breathe Go HighLevel. Understand it. Understand how it actually provides a business owner value, right? Many of these guys, oh my goodness, when they start out, you either need to test run it on yourself, utilize it for your own business, or find a friend or family friend, or if you had the cold call, I cold call a tester client, get them resolved, set them up correctly, do the A2P, do the text blast, do the emails, do the email domains, set up their pipelines, set up your workflows, tell them that you're new, tell them that you're a tester client and that you're trying to build this thing out for them and that you'll do it for free. I called it a free paid trial. That's what I did. So my times are free, but I couldn't afford the subscription and I couldn't afford the Facebook ads. So they paid for that. So I ended up making like $1,000 a month from them, which is great.
Yeah, nice.
For my first client. And I remember using that testimonial for a long, long time. And
That's solid.
And that's what you need. Once you get your first one, it's not your first client, it's your first testimonial.
So if we just going back to the core question, like in terms of like what goes into setting up GHL correctly, can we go into some specifics? Do you have some recommended steps? Maybe something out of the ordinary aside from the obvious?
Gosh, out of the ordinary?
Well, I mean, let's go through the ordinary, like a quick summary.
Yeah.
For some of those maybe listening, that might be newbies, so maybe let's cover that. But I also think we have a lot of more experienced people, and they might still be struggling with setup. What you've been helping a lot of people with that. So what are the things that people get stuck on most? Let's go with that.
I mean, obviously A2P is a big one. I see you've had Gary on the call quite a few times. I use Gary's my CRM thing. Super cool.
Gary is our savior when it comes to that. And this week, at the time of recording, we're at 28th of March, I just looked at my Facebook and I've been seeing some posts. A lot of people are angry.
Yeah.
A2P 10 DLC, there's been some new changes. Even Ben, who's had his perfect A2P 10 DLC recommended step snapshot that's been bulletproof, he's himself put a post up. He says, we've been testing it on our normal way. That always works. It didn't get approved. And I've even, just for the fun of it, did a submission that didn't follow any of the steps and it got approved.
Wow.
So there's a lot of mess happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had a mentor of mine mention to me, it's like, this isn't actually a white label software. It's not our software, because why on earth can these rules, did you see there's a new AI employee tab in your HighLevel? No?
Yeah, it's just been added to the menu. It was in the settings and now it's in there, yeah.
This is not our white label software. This is Go HighLevel software now. And we just plastered our logo on it. And we're up to their rulers and then beckoning for whatever it is that they choose to change and choose to implement. It's annoying. Really annoying. But it's probably one of the best tools out there. So
yeah,
you either adapt with it or you die by the sword and go find another software. So. And yes, the A2P, buying the phone numbers, domains was a pain in the butt for a long time, right? Email domains, email deliverability, funnels. Oh man, I really struggled with funnels. But once you get through that and you start utilizing it, then you start building these cool, crazy automations and systems in place that work without you having to be in it. What? Right? Like your follow-up email sequences to get me on and to provide more information. Perfect. You know what I mean? Like we have SMSs and nurture sequences for our clients that we built out. My show up rate is impeccable. Right. These things, the WhatsApp integration, especially for us in Europe and in London, me specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. So the benefits of all these features, yeah, definitely. I think people will get that as well. But just going back to the setup. So maybe we just pick one example, like one subset. So if we look at, let's maybe leave phone out of it for now because there's some stuff happening. But email.
Sure.
What is your recommendation when somebody's trying to set up their email properly on LC? Let's go with LC email though as well.
Goodness. Yeah. So email services, don't do it. With my recommendation for emails, we actually how to say this? We have a third-party provider. We don't use Go HighLevel's emails personally, right? So that's what I mentioned to you. We struggled a lot with email deliverability. So we moved over to Apollo. No, what's it called? One of those cold email services.
Instantly?
Yeah, instantly. There you go. And we outsource those emails to a email marketing agency that handles that. Our emails we use internally for our own clients because we don't want to burn our domains, right?
Yeah, so like when I'm not talking about mass cold outreach emails. Yeah, you're definitely going to use Instantly for those.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
talking about your setup for emails, for automations, for emails so you can send out emails from HighLevel for newsletters and things like
for
that.
our newsletters. Oh, okay, gotcha.
And automated emails and one-to-one emails from the CRM. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so very simple.
So you're not using LC email for those?
We are using LC email. Yeah, so we set up
Okay, great.
the email on the back end. I told my dad this. This is fun. My goodness, it was so. At the start, it was very difficult because Dad struggled a lot with understanding the email backend, going into the marketing tabs, looking into analytics, seeing how well they perform, seeing if there are any sales from the emails that he sent out, building out the campaigns as well. That was fun. Dad had a really fun time creating the templates. Do you know the email campaign templates?
Yeah.
Yeah. So simple, very easy. Create new. You add. We didn't our list. We do a bulk list when we do our newsletters. Dad likes to add a whole load of images, sending them specifically to our YouTube channel or to our community as the CTA. We don't do any launches, any countdowns, any reels, as we try and send traffic specifically to YouTube and community. As well as that, we also do a group coaching call on Mondays. So Dad posts that as well. Sends in schedules. It's very simple, and very easy for him to do. Yeah. And then
Nice.
Yeah, like teaching Dad was very fun. It made it, he watched our content. I sat down with him. I was like, okay, cool. Here's the sender email. Here's the sender name. Here's the subject lines that you can A/B test, Dad. Let's figure this out together, slow and steady. We can segment lists if you want, or we can send it out to everyone. And then every week we sit down and we look at the statistics, or look at the open rate, look at the click-through rate. And now, after a month, oh my God, after a month of him doing it, every week he sends me just like, this is how we did. This is the data. This is the...
Yeah, nice.
I'm like, oh,
the user experience. So yeah, so when it comes to onboarding and setting up the emails, so you're talking about the actual use of the emails, and the power of it. So once somebody starts to feel confident, that's great. I just want to go back a step when it comes to the actual setup. So maybe I'll just add my 2 cents of advice on that one.
Go for it.
Because I've realized, I've been talking to a couple of people, and they actually don't realize that LC email, yes, you need to have your own dedicated sending subdomain, but a lot of people just set up one. But there's actually settings where you can actually create a bit of a, you can reduce your risk by adding more dedicated sending subdomains. And then on the back end in the settings, you can assign those to different functionalities. So if you guys didn't know that, right? So if you go to settings, email services, and I'm talking about LC email for this particular thing, right? You set up your dedicated sending subdomains. What you want to do is set up about 5 of them, right? I usually do.
Really?
I've got the same naming conventions for all our clients, by the way. So we set up 3 sending subdomains for workflows, and I usually call them WKF1, WKF2, dot whatever the domain is, right?
Yes.
Set those up, and on the back end in the settings, I assign those 3 towards workflows. So it actually routes, the traffic is split. So it's 33% on each, or 33, right? That's, well, it's not 100, but you get it. It's one third of the traffic goes through that sending subdomain, that one, and then that one. Why you want to do that is if somebody screws up and one of those sending subdomains just gets burned, because I don't know, maybe you had a new staff member that's just sent too many emails, or just put something bad in the email copy. Well, at least now you've spreading the traffic across those 3. That's for workflows though. Especially good use cases for bulk, which should be the real one when you're sending out bulk newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
So for bulk, again, you might want to have entirely different sending subdomain. I usually call that one newsletter dot. And then for your one-to-one, which is when you're responding to people through the CRM, I usually have reply dot. So what I'm saying is 5 of these, and then number 6 actually is one that's a default one that's like a fallback. So that's my tip, like a recommended setup, because I really love what they've done, what the guys at GHL done on that front, because now you can do that and you can have a proper setup on that one. Yeah.
We might need a. Did you do a? I don't know if it was you. I think HighLevel just did a masterclass on email deliverability as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Did they cover this?
I don't know. I just saw the title. I'm like, cool. I need to watch that because emails have been the bane of my existence as well.
Okay, I see. Yeah, look, I mean, in the community, there are people that I've learned from. Kristen Rushman, she's one of the best ones when it comes to email deliverability, and she says this, like it comes down to both technical and behavioral. Right?
Indeed.
Technical is you gotta have your domains properly set up, the DKIM, the DMARC, the SPF, all those records. Well, HighLevel makes it really easy now.
Yeah, of course.
Is when you decide on those sending subdomains, and as long as you get your domain connected with either GoDaddy or Cloudflare, it'll pick up on it and it'll push those DNS records for you, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's done. The other thing is, I don't want to go into this topic too much because it sounds like I've got to do a separate episode that dive in. But in a nutshell,
Yeah.
if you guys are new to this, you want to have your transactional emails separate from marketing emails. Now, the third category would be cold email, but that's a whole another chapter. Let's not talk about that. Your transactional, you want to have a reputable provider. Go with Google Workspace or Microsoft, and then have your real like info@yourdomain.com, there. And then you're going to set up your subdomains on the back of that same domain. Those are going to be the subdomains that you're going to link up with your LC email in the, if you go on the HighLevel in the sub account, you go settings, email services, dedicated subdomains, you set those up, you link those up, and then you assign those towards different functionalities, like those sending subdomains towards workflows, those ones towards bulk email, which is newsletters, and those towards one-to-one. And then a third one, and then the number 4 is default one, which is a fallback. If any of the other ones fail, you've got a fallback. So that's technical. And in January last year, there was a big rule change from Google, Yahoo, and all the email providers.
Yeah.
Where now you have to have congruency. So in the past, you could have info@mydomain.com, which be the email address, but the underlying sending subdomain could be based on an entirely different domain, and it would work. Now what Google requires is, to prevent spoofing, is that needs to be congruent. So whatever your email address is, your business email address is for your transactional emails, info@ or even like your personal, like Vit@, like your representative of the business, Vit@abc.com. The sending subdomain has to be based off the abc.com. So you can have reply.abc.com, and that's congruent, that's fine, and you will land. And there's other things that fall into it, such as requirement to have an unsubscribe link, one-click unsubscribe link now, and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, that all falls under the technical. And then behavioral one is, the what do you actually send to people? Is it what they want? Because if that's not, that's how you get a surefire way to get marked as spam.
Yeah.
So that's the first one, just sending what they want. But then the next thing from it is, are they actually opening you on that subject line? So the first step is for somebody to open a subject based on the subject line, because they see something they want, right?
Yeah.
Next thing is the email copies, like it keeps trickling. It's like a landing page, right?
Yeah.
The purpose of the first sentence in the email is to sell them on want to read the rest of the email. So that's behavioral one. Are people opening emails? Are people clicking? Are people replying? And that comes down to content. And the big one, it comes down to personalization and a really well segmented list, sending, not the shotgun approach, but like sending emails that are unique based on what their preferences is. And that's where HighLevel shines. You got all the amazing custom fields that you can create to create your buckets, your custom lists. You can now use AI to write the copy in the emails to make it super personalized. And that's where you win. But you got to do it on the back of a really good technical setup. Once you got the technical setup, the next part to it is a good warm up, and then after that is just good principles day to day, keeping your list clean, avoiding shotgun approach, and making sure that whoever you get in on your sub account as a staff member, that they don't have access to be able to do any bulk actions. if they don't know what they're doing, because, I mean, that's one of the most important assets. And, I hope you guys are taking notes, because this is really important. Because think about marketing. You have your top of the funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel type of offer structure, whatever that is. And then your channels, paid, organic, cold, referral. But ultimately, all should be funneling into your CRM, which is email. So email is the bread and butter. That's where your own media. So it's one of the most important ones. And a lot of people do this wrong. They just treat the email like an afterthought. Like, and then I need to push out this offer. I'm running this webinar, and then go boom, shotgun. Everybody gets the email. Boom. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It. And that's what I mean by, with GHL University, we need. I am aware, especially some of our training can be more surface level stuff, when we really need like super in-depth, in detail training videos that don't break the minds of the likes of my father, who is nearly in his 60s. He needs to be able.
Yeah, and look, that's a valid point, right? Because if you go straight into the technical, like, which is what I've just went into,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose people. So you got to start them on the surface. But then it's also about acquisition of knowledge and the confidence. So the confidence will go up as they go through the
training.
on this. Yeah. So then they go further down the rabbit hole into more advanced stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Well, we're on the hour. I just wanted to just go straight to make sure that the guys who want to learn more about. So do you want to explain what we've put together, what it is that you want to offer to the listeners?
Yeah. It's. I mean, we have something at the HighLevel Experience / GHL University.
So HighLevelExperience.com.
There you go. / GHL University. People can get access to the bonuses that we have. So we actually give away a free 20 onboarding videos, so people can get a taste of what it looks like that we have on offer, as well as a whole host of.
Are these videos the ones that I can put my own avatar against, or
No,
are they?
we've not.
The gray label.
The gray label ones, not the white labels.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all good. Just wanted to clarify so we know what we're up for. Okay, great.
So people get access to the gray label videos. They can utilize it. They can add it in as a custom menu, like on their HighLevel, and go from there.
And then if they want to, then they can sign up. So it's a subscription service that allows you. Yeah, you want to unpack that?
Yeah. So for guys who want to work more closely with us, we've got a series of coaches, training resources, ways in which you can acquire, onboard, and support clients. We are currently finishing our lifetime sales. So before I'm on YouTube, we have a 2K. So the 2K annual fee, lifetime, and I'll give you a special link. So probably for like next, let's say 10 people who sign up on your link, they can get a lifetime deal. But typically it's $300 a month or $2,000 per year to sign up with and work closely with us.
And so can you unpack? So does that include the ability to add your own avatar against the videos that you already create, plus everything else that you do?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Excellent. So guys, if that makes sense, head over to highlevelexperience.com / GHL University, where you can find out more about Orien's offer, about the coaching program, but also how you can get access to the onboarding videos, so that you've got a shortcut on being able to provide your customers that sign up on your level or your version of HighLevel to learn about how to use it. And which I think, it's about leverage, and this definitely sounds like a really good leverage option. So thank you for that offer, Orien. By the way, if you head over to that website, highlevelexperience.com / GHL University, and you scroll down a little bit more, you get to watch a video version of this episode or listen. And then further down, there are a couple of offers that I provide. One of the big one that people like is my rebilling calculator for all the different things that you rebill for, whether it's sending, rebilling for SMS, rebilling for calls, rebilling for AI, rebilling for workflow AI, any of those. You've got a nice spreadsheet that you just put your markups, and it actually generates a little paragraph that you just copy paste that you can send to your client. So if it's basically helps you solve a couple of things, but I'll just go with this one example. What it helps solve is you're getting a client on board and they are asking $10 credit. What does that give me? And then you got to go and figure out, well, what does it give you? Well, it depends which country you're from, because Twilio has different rates. That's on its own.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to directly say, yeah, what $10 gives you, it's about this many of SMS, this many of phone calls, or this many of this, this many of that. The formula that I've put in the spreadsheet is there to generate that paragraph. So you just copy paste, you can send it to your clients. It just helps you on that front, because that's one of the ones that I'm big on transparency. And when somebody signs up with us, I want to make sure that they're well educated, and it's actually really important if you want to avoid churn, that the customers are well educated, they understand that they are rebilling and how much and for what. All right. So that's what that is. So if you want to get your hands on that one, that's available. It's a free lead magnet, and you get to find out on that one about that one on that page as well. Orien, let's wrap it up. I've got a couple of rapid fire questions, and then we'll go to the end. And these are related to high level. So let's go straight into it. Let me just bring this up. 1 second. Yep. What about high level originally grabbed your attention? Was it a specific problem you were trying to solve, or how did you
how to make 10K per month online? Does that work? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that goes back to that affiliate that got you onto it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice. All right, I love it. Okay, and what new high level feature or like a digital marketing tool are you most excited about right now, and why?
Like I mentioned at the start, we're working very hard on AI workflows and AI transcripts from our calls. We do a lot of outbound calls and setting shows and follow-ups. So figuring out ways to automate that and then have it so that based on the transcript and the conversation, your workflow AI can do the follow-up automatically for you on the date, or send the email, send the follow-up with the information that the prospect needs to make a decision to move forward with you. Like, that would be awesome. And that's what we're
really leveraging AI across the full sales cycle. I love it. What are you looking forward to most in the future high level feature releases, and why?
I've actually not looked at them, which I should. I've got my team does the updates, and I just sort of, like I said, I'm kind of like the face, but
okay,
very smart people that do all of the back end updates.
Maybe a question for your wife.
Yeah, I'll get my wife.
Okay, if you could give one piece of advice to a new high level user to make their life easier when adopting and using high level, what would that be?
Get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Really experiment, play around with the software, build your workflows out, and be careful when you buy a snapshot, because if you don't know high level and you buy an overcomplicated snapshot, you've just had a guy who signed up, he called it digital garbage. Buy it once and you throw it away and you never end up using it. It goes to a closet, just like your books in your bookshelf. You ready?
Yeah,
it never gets touched.
From what I'm hearing from people, it's buying snapshot. It's the, hey, I've spent so much money on snapshots and I could not figure out how to use them. It's a big problem. What helps solve that problem is making sure that you buy snapshots that are well documented.
Agreed.
So that when you do buy them, you've got a guideline, you can learn, and you can actually learn faster about high level by having a good snapshot from somebody.
Agreed.
That has a really good documentation. So make sure that you do that. There are some really good vendors. I'm one of them. I would like to think so. I've got some really good case studies to prove it. So go check it out. But yeah, overall, like, and also on the same token, if you just want to like learn yourself and not have a snapshot, but then later on when you want to leverage for your agency, you should build your own snapshot. Because that's how you leverage, right? Exactly. But my tip or recommendation is once you build it, and here's my process, right? I built snapshots. My process is I visually map it out to have a real clarity on what I want it to do. Then I build it, I figure out what are the data points that I would need to gather. That's going to govern how many additional custom fields I'm going to build and what types, how many custom values and trigger links, whatnot, that trickles down into building workflows and all that, right? So I do that, and then you test it. Is it MVP? Is it working? Great. And then you want to expand on it. But here's my tip to you. If you're looking at, and to you listening, I mean, and you maybe yourself, I don't know if you need my tip, but is once you've done that stage, please do not go snapshot it out and start selling it to other agencies. What you want, not because like I wouldn't want you to, but because you're going to fail. It's not going to work. because it's the same problem, right? You're going to be like everybody else, just selling snapshots, not providing any resource, any support.
Yeah.
Please do this. Go document the heck out of it. Like I document my snapshots in ClickUp, and I document the way I start my documentation is I document every single technical, like what's under the hood, every single asset. Every single tag has its own dedicated ClickUp page, explains the purpose of the tag. How does the tag get removed? How does the tag get added and why? I document every single workflow, every single custom field, everything. And then with ClickUp, you can actually interlink things. So when I'm documenting a tag, I then reference a workflow that adds the tag, for example. And you click on that, it takes you to another ClickUp page where you can learn about the workflow, the purpose of the workflow, how that works. Now, here's the beauty about that. Not only by documenting it this way, you've got something that anybody can easily like learn and investigate potential problems because they maybe deleted something, whatever. But it's about quality control. By documenting, so many times I've actually come across holes in my snapshot.
Yeah.
Like I start documenting things and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm missing this. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's just self-checking your work.
Yeah.
So that's what I recommend. And that's going to result in much more quality snapshot and full documentation. Now go and sell it. Now you're going to provide real value to the community. 100%.
Beautiful. Quality.
All right.
Quality.
Orien, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the episode today. Is there any last piece of advice you'd like to say? Anything last you'd like to say?
Yeah, just keep going. High level is the way. It can be frustrating, but keep it going, follow through, and find people who believe in you as much as you do.
I love it. Thank you, Orien.
That's
great. And guys, thank you as well. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, then please share it with your fellow agency mates and other high levelers that you think would also benefit from listening. For show notes, links, and extra tips to help you grow your agency or your SaaS with HighLevel, please go to highlevelexperience.com. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.